Hey crafters, I'm here for the last drill with me for Lady Tremaine. I'm going to focus on her face today, but I wanted to show you all the progress I made in between my last video and where this one is going to start at. This is a super confetti canvas, as you can see, and it's very sparkly. I'm going to lift the canvas just a little bit, and that's not even with all the drills. So it looks really great. I'm gonna go ahead and start focusing in on her face, and let's get started. So tonight I'm gonna focus on this and symbol, which ends up being DMC 224. And this surprised me because when I took it out, I realized it's pink. So her skin color will be pink. And I double and triple checked my color chart to make sure that this was the correct one, and it is. It's what it says to use, so I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with it. I was really looking forward to doing her face because it is a large amount of the same color, and as you can see, like I said, this is a super confetti canvas. I've enjoyed it because what I mentioned with the Princess Ensemble is I like confetti. These have made me realize I enjoy how colorful, or any colorful diamond painting. It's definitely going to be the route I go. Confetti will be the route I go. But one thing I noticed is with the Princess Ensemble, you did have some sections of at least the same color fading into another section of maybe just one DMC higher, or all the colors looked like they faded into each other really well. This one is super confetti. So I'm excited to see what she's gonna look like when I fully finish. And this is some super glue. So you gotta make sure you get it right in the perk spot. And I'm gonna work for 20-30 minutes tonight. It's evening time right now, so I'm gonna reference tonight. And then fully finish her up and then do a quick kind of 2-minute, here she is fully done kind of video. And then I just burped. Oh, how gross, I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk and I burped. And then I'll do a quick video showing what she looks like done and then decide who to work on next. Now, remember when I started this and I said I was gonna do a villain every week? How funny was that? I mean, that's really laughable. I was so ambitious and adorable, right? So so far what you see is, I'm trying to think, today is Tuesday my time. So this is about a week's worth of drilling. And I want to move my camera to make sure you get less of a shadow. So let me do that. And I will finish this hopefully within the next 2 to 3 days, but I'm definitely not going to be able to do a villain a week like I thought. I don't want to do a villain every 2 weeks because that seems a little too long. But we'll see how the schedule goes and how my summer ends up playing out. I did end up losing a few days because I went out of town and I did not bring the canvas with me. It's just such a large canvas. I figured if I tried to pack it, I would fold it more and it would just be a mess. So I didn't go that route. And I wanted to talk about the trip. So for 4th of July, the long weekend, we went to Prague in the Czech Republic, and it's not that long of a drive from Germany. We had a blast. So the way it worked out is we ended up leaving on Thursday, and we left late in the day, so we knew we were going to get there later. It was projected to be about a 5.5-hour trip, but as we were driving, we did see that time change and increase because we were leaving around rush hour. People were, coming home from work. So it surprisingly only took us about 6 6.5 hours. And when you think of 6.5 hours driving with 3 kids, 5 and under, we did really well. We actually didn't stop for probably the first 3 hours. We just plowed right through. The baby didn't nap, so as soon as he got in the car, he fell asleep. The older girls were doing really great. I actually charged their tablets so they could play on those a little bit. And they have some cartoons. I think they have like Scooby-Doo and, I don't remember. Scooby-Doo and maybe some Paw Patrol. I honestly don't even remember what's on there. So they did pretty good. Our first stop was in like the Czech Republic to get, I put that on the wrong one, didn't I? To get gas, and then I think we are to eat, and then later we stopped to get gas. We had to buy the driving pass. So in certain countries, when you cross the border or right before you cross the border, you need to buy a driving permit. For the Czech Republic, it ended up being the equivalent of 12 euros. So conversion rate of that would be like $13-ish, somewhere around there. And that gave us the ability to drive our car in the country for, I think it was a 10-day pass, but we ended up arriving around close to 10, maybe, I don't even remember. And I get there and I walk in. My husband parks out front. I walk in to go check in, and I'm like, hi, my name is Mer. And she kind of like cuts me off, and she's like, oh, hi, Meredith. Yes, we've been waiting for you. You're actually our last guest to check in for the evening. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing customer service. They know my name. This is really great. So it turns out the hotel opened just the day before, and there were only 10 people staying in the hotel. So I really was the last person to check in. I mean, if other people checked in the day before, then they only had a few people checking in that day. And got ourselves all situated. It was really nice. We actually ended up getting an upgrade. So we booked the room with like a bed and a couch next to it and asked for a baby crib. And we ended up getting like one of those deluxe rooms where you have your bedroom and like a closing door. And then there's a little living room area. So that was nice because it gave the kids their space. We had our space, and it was super relaxing. But after we checked in, the kids are so hyped up. They're excited. The baby slept mostly in the car. And, it's those little things when you're a parent. We turned on the TV and they had Disney and Nickelodeon in English. The kids were so happy. They watched a cartoon. We all fell asleep. And the reason why we decided to leave later in the day and kind of just get there and fall asleep is because with the drive being as long as it is, we realized if we left in the morning, checked in, we'd be so tired whenever we got there that whole day would really just be a travel day. And so we are happy with the way we did it. We woke up on Friday and we just hit the ground running. It was pretty cool. We had breakfast at the hotel and we were in the downtown area. So we just walked out of the hotel and started walking through Old Town Prague. And it was beautiful. You can see some similar architecture styles to Germany, but what was really cool, since you're in the actual downtown, Old Town area, you'd just be walking and you're walking either right next to or you stumble upon a historic church or a historic building and things that have been there for hundreds of years. It's like, this is absolutely gorgeous to look at in the architecture and design. So we spent about 15 minutes fully walking to the downtown area, looking at the statues and the churches. And we started to load the map and we're like, well, what do we want to do next? And there was a museum we were interested in that was like another 15-20 minute walk, but we're like, well, let's just sit down and figure this out. So we're sitting down, figuring it out, looking at the map, and there's a tourism, like travel company that's doing tours on a train, like a choo-choo train that really is a car that's pulling these train cars. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but the kids saw them and they're like, oh, can we try and sit in one of the trains? And this is how they are so smart in the tourist industry. The woman who's selling the tickets, she opens up one of the doors to the train car and she's like, of course, come on in. Do the kids want to come in and take a picture? So the kids climb into the train car and they love it and they think it's so cool. And they're like, I want to ride the choo-choo. I want to ride the choo-choo. And it's like, okay. We didn't plan to do anything. We were going to see where our day took us, and this is where our day has decided to take us. So we booked a little train choo-choo tour, and it was an hour long, but what we did was we asked, could we go to about the midway point where there was the old Prague Palace Castle, and could we hop off of the choo-choo and then tour the castle and get back on the choo-choo with the same tickets? And they were like, yeah, of course. So it's like, let's do this. Let's go on this adventure. So we took the train for about 30 minutes. We toured all through the historic downtown Prague area, went across these beautiful buildings, looked at churches, different sites of where famous events had happened back in Czech and Prague history. And they explained how the city of Prague is actually 4 cities that was merged into one, and it was really cool. We get up to the palace and we hop out of the choo-choo and we just kind of walk around and buy tickets. We go on the palace tour. By the way, the most beautiful Starbucks I have ever seen is at the Prague Old Town Palace, because the Starbucks is actually on the side of a hill, and it's on the side of a top of a hill, and you have a huge, gorgeous view of this massive, sprawling, historic city with church towers and beautiful old, style architecture homes and gardens. So there's flowers and trees. It was gorgeous. Best looking Starbucks location I've ever seen in the entire world. But we walked through. My girls are really interested in churches. They have a lot of questions, so that was fun for them. And the way it's set up, well, I guess it's kind of normal, not just COVID stuff. You enter on one side of the church, you walk all the way around it, you exit on the other. Every time we go to a church, my girls see the candles. They always light a candle for a family member, and that's really special. They ask a lot of questions. They like looking at the beautiful stained glass windows. We went and looked inside the palace of where they used to have the grand ballroom and the throne room, because these are the old church is inside the palace. If I didn't already mention this, I don't feel like I haven't lined these up straight. I mean, it looks really crooked on the camera. Saw where they had their big elaborate banquets, and saw the crown jewels, the just absolutely gorgeous scepter, all this stuff. It's all in behind glass, but saw beautiful jewels. That was in the palace. Another one we went to was a basilica, which was a much more simple, small building. Well, not building. I actually didn't see the other side of it. It looked like it was kind of carved into another building, but we did the palace. We got back on the choo-choo train, and we went and finished the tour, which was another 30 minutes to get back to the Old Town section. But here's the thing, when we started the tour, it was filled with English speakers. So the information that was playing was all in English, because it made sense, because everybody on the tour was English. And then when we got back on the train, some other people that were on did the same as us. They hopped off at the palace. We get back in. We're actually the only ones on the choo-choo train riding back to the Old Town, and it is in the Czech language, so we didn't understand anything on the tour coming back. It was gorgeous to see, but I have no idea what I saw. And we get dropped back off in this Old Town area, and we just decide, it's actually kind of late, because we had breakfast late, so maybe it's almost 3 o'clock, and we decide to do lunch. And there is a beautiful beautiful church that on the side of it has this clock, very decorative clock that's been an active working clock, I guess, since the 1500s. And every hour it goes off. And what happens is while the clock is dinging up top, these two little windows open and these statues kind of rotate through the window, and it looks like the statue, when they get to the window, is leaning down. And there's also, for some reason, a skeleton that's dinging a bell while all this is happening. And the statues are of different figures, but my kids wanted to see this and they were asking me questions. So we ended up getting lunch right in front, in the restaurant, right in front of the choo-choo. I'm getting confused, and I'm confusing you. Where the choo-choo dropped us off right by the clock tower. We ate at the restaurant directly across from it, because when we sat down, it was so close to the top of the hour that we knew we'd be able to see the clock just from our seats. That worked out really well. We had this huge meal. It was absolutely delicious. We got a lot of Czech food and goulash and stews. And with the exchange rate, I mean, it was, when you think of the fact we ate at this like downtown restaurant next to a tourist attraction in a seat where you can watch it, it was actually really reasonable, very affordable. And while we were there, it's like, I'm gonna try a Pilsner. It's the Czech Republic. It's where Pilsner beer is made, it's from. So I order a beer. And my husband orders a beer, and I wasn't paying attention to sizing or anything like that. I just ordered a Pilsner. So it comes out, and I have this like little baby beer bottle set in front of me. And I'm like, okay, great, that's really cool. And then my husband's drink comes out, and it is like a liter of beer. It is ridiculous looking next to my beer, and I'm like, wait, what? I thought I ordered that one, and instead I got this tiny little thing. I'm in the Czech Republic. This is where Pilsner beer, it was created, where it's from. Like, I want to have the traditional, I want to have like the big beer. If I'm gonna have one, I'm gonna do this. So I ended up kind of being embarrassed by this little tiny thing, and I ordered the big beer, and you know, we just kind of partaked and had our lunch and sipped on a beer. And afterwards, we decided to get these chimney cakes. Now, they were everywhere. Every street corner, every street, like 4 or 5 on a street, they have these chimney cakes. And I'm gonna put a picture, but I'm also gonna do my best to try and explain what it looks like. And really quick, it looks as if I am fully done with all of the, all of the and symbols for her face. Oh, no, I missed you. So I'm not sure what they would be called in the Czech language, but I know all the signs advertising these restaurants selling this dessert said chimney cakes. And I'm gonna switch from this pink while I'm taking a break. I'm gonna go, well, I guess I have the lowercase N. I have a few of those. We're gonna switch to that. This is DMC 841. Interesting. I'm hoping that the color choice will make sense when everything's done and put together. This is a taupe, a brown leaning taupe. Let me show you. Get my tray all nice set up. I've got good lighting right now. So this is what's the N that's gonna be around the side of her face. I guess like outlining and defining the sides of her face. So once it's all put together, we'll see how it looks. Well, I guess, yeah, it's like an outline instead of like a bold 310 outline. That would be a softer one. So we go for these chimney cakes, and imagine the same bread kind of dough as a Cinnabon, but wrapped over a cylinder. So it's in a cone. It's either in a cone or a cylinder shape. You can get it two different ways. If you get it in the cylinder, or the cone actually, it's probably easier to eat it in a cylinder, but we got ours in a cone, and they put it in a cup, and then they fill this cone with the inside and the outside sugar and cinnamon. So now it really is looking like a donut. Then the inside, depending on what you order, has all kinds of stuff. So my girls ordered ice cream. So you have this cylinder donut, tastes like a Cinnabon, now covered in cinnamon and sugar, filled with soft serve ice cream. And then one of the girls got like a chocolate drizzle on top, and my husband got his with strawberries. And to make sure that the yummy cooked donut type cone doesn't get soggy, they smeared Nutella all on the inside and then filled his with strawberries, and then put ice cream, soft serve ice cream, on the top of it. And it was delicious. It was so good. Now, we originally thought we ordered 4. There was a miscommunication, and I guess we only ended up getting 3, and we only paid for 3, so it was fine. But we couldn't finish 3, so we were really glad that, you know, it worked out and we didn't get the 4th one. And that ended up, I think, being about €6 each. My husband with the strawberries and Nutella and ice cream, I think his was €8. And the way it works is, for some places, you can play in the Czech currency or the Euro currency, or, you know, credit card and whatever. So I'm not sure how much it would have been in the Czech currency, but the exchange rate is like $1 to 23, 24 of the Czech currency. So that actually took a little bit of time for me to get used to as well, because you'd sit down and dinner, we'd order a meal. Like at one point it was like a beef tenderloin for 200 Czech. And it's like, okay, 200, do the math, how much is this causing me? And it's like, okay, well, if it's technically $2 to 50, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so this is gonna cost me $8. Like, trying to figure all that out. But see, I'm already distracted. These chimney cakes were delicious, and we were very happy, very, very happy to try them. The kids all love them. It was a fun moment as we're all just eating ice cream and having dessert together. And that really kind of ended our first day. We went back to the hotel, and it was still daylight out, but we had been walking a lot. We were tired, and part of vacation is just having fun and relaxing. So we laid in bed, we watched movies on the TV, and it was a fun first day in Prague. I think, oh, there's one more in. On the second day, we did something pretty cool. But if you are not a fan of Halloween, you might not like this next story. So let me put all of these ends away, and I'm gonna switch over. I'll do the moon. So, for some reason, all of my kids like Halloween and skeletons. And if they're, especially the baby, if he's watching Wheels on the Bus videos on YouTube, he is watching skeleton Wheels on the Bus videos. So it's like a little skeleton driving the bus, singing Wheels on the Bus. Where is the moon shape? Okay, here we go. DMC 3726. I don't have many of these, so I'll be switching fast. I'll show you the drills and then get started. So we went to a church in on the outskirts, not on the outskirts, actually like way outside of Prague. It was more than an hour outside of Prague, and I don't remember the town, but if you Google Prague Skull Church, it's gonna come up. So this was a church that was built in the 1200s. At one point, it was a very in-demand place to be buried throughout all of Europe. And I don't know the full history, but at some point they had to dig up all of the graves. And it's like, what are we gonna do with all of these bones? And it was a lot of warriors from a war in the 1400s and just other remains that they turned into decorative art and decorated the church with. Yes, I know how that sounds. You're a little taken aback, but it is amazingly decorated. So it turns out it's about, oh God, you guys, this is the weirdest thing I've probably talked about on the channel. So it's about 40 to 70,000 remains. And what I didn't realize, this is one of, not counting the palace and the churches, the things that you can see from the city and all over, this is one of Prague's most popular tourist attractions, this church. So we took our kids there, and they were not shocked or surprised by it at all with the condition of the bones. They actually thought they were fake because they were super white, super bright. You know, like when you see a plastic skeleton, it's super bright and looks a little shiny. You can tell it's plastic, but these were not plastic. They were real. The kids weren't fazed by it, but it is a very interesting church. And then we went to another church that was close by. I'm already done with all the moon ones. Went to another church close by, which was a more modern Catholic church with your beautiful stained glass windows, your large organ, pews, all of that. It was actually kind of interesting. There was a confessional there, and one of my daughters is like, well, what's that for? And I was talking to her about it. And then later she saw a gentleman taking pictures in the church. And she's like, Mom, you're not supposed to take pictures in here. And I'm like, I know, he's breaking the rules. She's like, he's gonna have to go to confession. And I'm like, well, you learned that. At least we learned something from this visit. Okay, I'm gonna focus on Q. And that was a lot of day 2. This actually was, so Q is gonna be 5:35. This was actually July 4th. So there was, we tried to find some really nice restaurant that we would pop into, but one place that was highly recommended, was a Mexican food restaurant. And we were like, you know what? We're not gonna have, we're not going to be doing a barbecue or anything with friends and family. Let's go to this Mexican food restaurant for dinner. And we had some of the best Mexican food that we've had since being overseas. We were really happy with our dinner. The kids, they're very kid-friendly in Prague. So almost everywhere we went, they brought out coloring pages or coloring pencils. Move the camera. Stuff to occupy the kids. And we just had a nice meal. I had a margarita and some tacos, and it was absolutely delicious. We did try to get Mexican food here in Germany. And I think Germans live such a healthy lifestyle that they've kind of taken Mexican food and adopted it and fusioned and modified it into their very healthy lifestyle. So we're talking, you order a burrito, and the burrito comes with cut up steamed cucumber and zucchini inside. We're like, wow, this is great and it's healthy, but when I ordered a burrito, it wasn't really what I thought I was gonna get. So when we had the Mexican food at this place in Prague, it was just delicious. It was tacos with pulled chicken and avocados and taco seasoning, and then a hot chili sauce that I poured all over it. So it was really delicious. And then we just went back to the hotel. So it was kind of a low-key day. But again, we were all in the hotel. We were all kind of cuddled up, talking, hanging out, and enjoying the very relaxing side of vacation. And that's all for Q. Right? I'm not missing one. Okay. And then Sunday, you know, we had breakfast and we got a start back to Frankfurt. And our drive back was almost just as eventful as the whole trip. We did really well. We made it like 2.5 hours before we stopped. We stopped for gas. I'm gonna do S. We stopped for gas. 6:47. I gave Axel some water. We get back on the road, and within like 5 minutes, the dog throws up on me. I feel like every parent has a story of like the kid throwing up in the car. I'm not sure how many of them can say it's the dog. So I'm gonna do S right now, which is a light gray, and I put way too many drills on my tray, but we're gonna move forward. So we needed to find a place to pull over, and we pulled over at another gas station, and I just smelled. So we had to clean the car up. My husband like works on cleaning the car. I work on cleaning myself. I ended up having to change. And then it's like, this sucks. Let's get back on the road. We're back on the road for not long at all. Just a few minutes. And the baby's like, I have to go to the bathroom. It's like, okay. And he's potty training. So we take it seriously. We pull over. We get him out of the car. We get him in the potty. But no, we did not make it in time, and the baby had an accident. So now it's our third stop. We stopped to get gas. We stopped because the dog threw up. We stopped because of the accident, and this was within a couple of miles, 30 to 40 minutes of our travel time, just all of that. But thankfully, after we got through those few bumps, we got back on the road, and I think we just stopped for lunch, and that was it for the rest of the day. And then got home, and I don't know what you do when you get home, but I unpack immediately. I put the luggage on the table, and we just bring like a small carry-on size luggage for me and the kids. So my husband brings a backpack. We travel very light. So I open up our luggage. Oh, let me do, that R and that G look so close. I'm gonna kind of pick for these last few letters. Let me do D right now. I open my luggage, I put the laundry directly in the laundry hamper, or I'm sorry, 3835 for D. I'm just gonna pick it, so let me show you. It looks very similar to the other purple mauve color I just did. I go ahead and put it in the washing machine. I'm sorry, not the laundry hamper. I put it in the washing machine, and I just unpack right then and there. It's a small bag, so it doesn't take me long, and when I'm putting most of the items in the washing machine, but I have to do that as soon as I get home. I can't sit down, I can't relax, I can't do anything else until I'm fully unpacked. That's just my weird thing. And now we're back in Frankfurt, back at school, back at summer camp, back at work, back to normal. Oh, one thing that was really interesting. So as of July 1st in the Czech Republic, you don't have to wear a face mask anymore. So, you know, it's just different. It's very different coming from Germany where you have to. It is the law, and you will get cited and ticketed if you don't wear a face mask. And, you know, as soon as we stopped at that gas station, that first stop, it was in Germany. So we made sure we had our masks, and we didn't want to mess anything up. But just different how things are. Okay, that's kind of like a teardrop. I only have 3 of those, and that's 8. Oh no, I missed more of these moons. Wow, I missed a lot. I missed like 4 of those. The teardrop is 801. And this is looks like a straight up brown. So our trip was a lot of fun. I feel like we balanced sightseeing, tourism, and relaxation. And I've done trips before where it's been go, 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 see as much as you can. Come on, come on. And it's just not doable with 3 kids, and it's not as enjoyable to me. So taking our time, going at a slow pace, it worked out really well. And I'm gonna do the moon again. I don't know if we'll ever get back to Prague. And I feel really happy with how the trip went. So I don't feel like I missed out on anything. And I left knowing I might not ever get back to this city, but I feel like I've seen so much of it. It's really good. The countdown is really just until our next trip in July. I'm looking forward to that one. Super excited. I can talk about that more as that one gets close. Ooh, what's W? So it looks like part of her eye and the rest around her ear. Which one's W? I'll probably have this be the last one before I get going on this drill with me. Oh, W is 414. Oh, and it's kind of like a medium steel gray. There's not many, so I'm just gonna pick them out. I'm not gonna put them in the tray. What's that look like for her eye? Oh, like just her eyelid. So what I'm gonna do from here, I am going to work on this a little bit more, and I'm gonna finish it. So the face is mostly done. I'm gonna work on all of this background and then do a video showing what she looks like completed. And I gotta think of who I wanna do next, but I don't wanna think about that too much since I'm not even really done with her yet. The nice thing is the background of the painting, I've actually been working on it while watching Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, and I think I might talk about that a little bit more in my next drill with me. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to take the camera up and show you what it looks like, show you the progress, and I'm going to go watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. So here we go, moving from there. Here's how her face looks with her hair and the rest of her body. Let me get a good zoom out of the camera. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a good amount of progress. I mean, I actually measured the faces. It was almost 2 inches, so almost 2 square inches for her face. It's sparkly. I got a little bit more, and the next time you see this, you'll see what she looks like done. So I'm gonna go get downstairs, get going, watch a little Netflix, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, crafters.